fucking late because I'm a Dragon Quest YouTuber. To popular request, I'm going to be ranking all of the Dragon Quest games that I've played. So that includes a few spin-offs. First order of business, there is not a single game on this list that I don't love. So these rankings are more so kind of categorizing them based on my relationship with the game. If I critique your favorite game, cry about it. No, I'm sorry. Do open the discussion in the comments below, and who knows, you might just change my mind. As far as this tier list goes, I'm kind of adopting KCA Onzo, the pop culture YouTuber's tier list. Instead of marking the tiers A to F, I'm going to be marking them with memes from Dragon Quest or quotes from Dragon Quest that I just love and find very funny, and quotes I feel just kind of fit the bill for the category I'm talking about. I'll link the tier list below in the description with every single Dragon Quest game ever made, but for now, sit back and relax and let's get started. Our first tier is called Core Blimey.
Cool, blimey!
This tier is for games that I haven't fully beaten. I always end up kind of dropping off them because I don't find that they're clicking well enough with me. I still have fun playing them. I can't really seem to get to the end point of these games. First on this list is Dragon Quest Heroes 2. It's a Dragon Quest game. I've put a lot of hours into this game and I think I'm pretty close to the end, and I do find it fun. I know it is kind of like a, one of those beat 'em up games, which I guess is kind of cool. The animations in this game are just so pleasing to watch. It's such a fluid game, and reconnecting with all the characters from other Dragon Quest games is just really nice and very nostalgic. But there's missions in the game where you have to like protect someone who clearly doesn't want to be protected. They just run straight into the heat of the battle, getting themselves killed so quickly unless you can pretty much kill everyone around them. It's infuriating. Although I did like the first one, I found it a little bit more stripped back and simple, but we'll get into that game later. What the actual was the online mode in Dragon Quest Heroes 2? We're pausing this whole thing for a second here. Can someone explain to me why on earth they added that, oh, you get more money on a Tuesday, you get more XP on a Wednesday? Who benefited from that? When I was playing Dragon Quest Heroes 2, I literally had to be like, I should grind, but it's not Wednesday. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Just interjecting before someone comes for me in the comments, I'm aware that it's more metal slimes on Wednesdays, not more XP, but to me that's pretty synonymous. Stop writing that angry comment. I see you. Stop it right now. Stop it. Stop! As you can see, I have a lot of pent-up resentment against Dragon Quest Heroes 2. If anyone can tell me if they found any benefit of playing the game on a Wednesday, let me know. She hates extra XP Wednesdays, boys. Let's get her. Okay, enough of that. Dragon Quest Swords for the Wii. Ooh, certainly a game in the Dragon Quest franchise. I think it actually has some of the best character design in a lot of the Dragon Quest games, but the controls are super finicky because of course it's a Wii remote. In my opinion, it's probably the most forgettable Dragon Quest game in the franchise, but I probably will end up beating it someday because I kind of want to speedrun it. Okay, our next tier.
Questing dragons and whatnot,
Oh, Victoria Justice, a true Dragon Quest icon. Basically what the name implies, it's a Dragon Quest game. It is what it is. So first on this list is Dragon Quest Treasures. I played a good bit of this game when it came out. It added whole new kind of styles of gameplay and features, and I also just love that it has Eric and Mia in it because I love Dragon Quest XI. It's a bit repetitive at times, and I don't feel like there's a huge amount of challenge involved. Unless I was missing something, you're just kind of finding treasure, which I guess is fun. Very far removed from your traditional Dragon Quest game. With that being said, I found it really chill and really cute. I don't really have much complaints either. Dragon Quest 1, you have to have respect for the classic. It's obviously a very, very good game. It's why any of the games on this list are here today. I think the reason I'm grading it the way it is because it's a bit tedious to be going around to every town and there might only be one NPC there that kind of has information of relevance to your mission. So it's quite difficult to actually beat unless you are very, very thorough with everything. But it has a lot of charm. It doesn't require a huge amount of focus other than just grinding and hunting things. It's very much a finding its feet game, but you can't really go wrong with that. It's a classic. Dragon Quest 6. I've critiqued this game a bit on the Twitters. I don't hate it. but I don't love it. The concept itself is very creative. You have this real world and a dream world, and it's very matrixy. But I feel like the execution just makes it very hard to keep your engagement with the game. I know I'm being really harsh. If Dragon Quest VI is your favorite Dragon Quest game, please let me know in the comments why. I would love to see opposing views on this because I would love to hear the opinions of people who are Dragon Quest VI lovers. This tier is called
I'm in a clear old people, so I am.
You're in a what now?
Tornico is our Irish king, and nobody can convince me otherwise. These are for games that I have a soft spot for. Because of tedious aspects in them, and because of kind of flaws that I found in the game, I don't see myself exactly rushing to replay them anytime soon, hence the name. They're in a bit of a pickle. Dragon Quest II. I have a real soft spot for this game for some reason. I know that's kind of an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people don't like Dragon Quest II, but I don't know. I just really like this game. And I felt kind of an attachment to like the prince and princess, even though the prince is dead for most of the game. I think it's partly because the music in Dragon Quest II is probably like the best in the entire franchise. Fight me. Another thing that makes this game so memorable is the cave to Roan. It's just so rewarding to get to the end of that cave. Going through it is so frustrating and it's a head wreck, but things like that really stick in your head, it really does leave an impact. I feel like it gets a bad rap. Dragon Quest VII. I have a major soft spot with this game for an obvious reason. I have a bit of a confession to make. The Dragon Quest VII preservation project I did with Danny Fofani and Sakchiv, that was the first time I'd beaten Dragon Quest VII. Now I put like 20-30 hours into it before, but again I just never finished it and I was actually quite indifferent to the game. The project actually let me play the game to its finish because I had to within a month, and I ended up really loving it. I actually think it's one of the best Dragon Quests. I have put like 350 hours into the game now. It's like probably one of my most played Dragon Quest games. So I think I'll always have like a special place in my heart. Dragon Quest Heroes, the first one. I actually really like this game. I know it's a controversial take because a lot of people prefer the second one over the first one, but I really like how stripped back the first one is. And I know the open world in the second one's really cool. I just love the simplicity of the first one because I don't think those kind of Dynasty Warrior games are like my thing. So I liked how simple Heroes was. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 still had like those defending missions, but they weren't as plentiful as they were in Dragon Quest Heroes 2. So that's why it's higher up on the list for me, along with not having extra XP on a Wednesday. Next tier. This tier is called Can I Hit You One More Time?
Can I hit you one more time?
These are games that I've beaten at least once, but I am dying to hit them one more time. Dragon Quest IV. Dragon Quest IV is so fun. The story is amazing. I love the fact that you get to play as all the other characters. Do I do that a lot when I'm talking? I really want to play the spin-off Dragon Quest IV, the new Dragon Quest Monsters sometime. I played Dragon Quest IV on the app, even though I have the game on DS. I used to open the app every single day. I'd have Mina or Maya do a tarot reading every day. And when I say that out loud, that sounds so cringe. But I liked it. I thought it was cute. I'm going to start doing that again. Dragon Quest III. You have to have respect for this game. I really want to replay it, but I'm waiting for the remake. Hopefully we will find something out about that game soon, unless this video comes out after Dragon Quest Day. In that case, was I disappointed again? One thing about Dragon Quest III that isn't in the other games that I really liked was the little personality test that they did at the start to kind of determine your stats. I would really love if they brought that back. It'd be a really cool thing to bring back in Dragon Quest XII. Maybe they will. Second last tier. This tier is called
Will you marry me, please?
Will You Marry Me Please? These are games that I've played many times and I could marry them. Dragon Quest V. Need I say more? Probably has some of the darkest stories in any of the Dragon Quest games. It's so damn fun with all the added features like the monster recruitment, the casinos, the fact that you get to choose your wife, and of course, Bjorn. I've made 2 videos regarding Dragon Quest V, one on the film adaptation and one on the differences between the actual game and the film adaptation, so I'll link those below. Dragon Quest VIII. Dragon Quest VIII is probably the best Dragon Quest game from an objective standpoint. The characters are just so well developed and lovable. The voice acting in this game deserves many Oscars.
You little runt! You must be cheating!
Our last tier is simply defined by a sound, not a phrase. And that sound is... These are my favorite Dragon Quest games. I've put at least 500 hours into both of these games. I basically love everything about them, and I replay them a few times a year. Dragon Quest XI has a great story, great characters. It's just such a well polished Dragon Quest game, and the fact that it has all these references to the older Dragon Quest games just makes it feel like a perfectly well-rounded Dragon Quest game with a little bow on top. I've almost 100%ed this game. Every character is at 999 HP. I've put a lot of time into this game, probably a lot more than 500 hours. The cutscenes, of course, are like probably the most beautiful cutscenes in any of the Dragon Quest games. The connection I have with this game is really, really strong because I started playing Dragon Quest 11 when I got sick, and that was like my safe space. And that's getting a little bit personal, I know, but I have been pretty open about my health on here. Let's move on to our last game, Dragon Quest 9. I can't pick between 11 and 9 for which one is my favorite, but I will say Dragon Quest 9 is just phenomenal. It's the first Dragon Quest game I ever played, so of course I'm going to have a big emotional bond with it. This game had so many features that I was really surprised didn't seem to come back in other Dragon Quest games. Like, I love the character customization, I love the grottos. The procedurally generated grottos need to make a comeback. Even though there's no party to interact with besides Stella, Stella really carries the story and the character interactions for the entire game. The NPCs just are so fleshed out and you just fall in love with them. So that's it. Let me know what you think about my list, and do your own list down below and send it on to me. Also, of course, like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Dragon Quest content. But for now, my name's Grania and I like Dragon Quest.